Building or setting up a survival shelter is always a top priority in the wild, be it to protect you from the sun, wind, rain, or snow. Why build a shelter? Seeking shelter is one of your biggest priorities, after remaining calm and providing necessary first aid. Remember that shelter means refuge from all of the elements. Extreme cold increases the risk of hypothermia. Extreme heat exposes you to dehydration and heatstroke. In the cold, avoid low areas that often suffer from cold air pockets and higher winds. A well-located and well-insulated shelter can prevent succumbing to snowdrifts or a chill during the night. If in a hot location, you might choose to make the most of the breeze to remain cool. Take care that the breeze doesn't bring in sand or dust. Sand and dust can be frustrating and even painful or cause damage. Another reason to build a shelter is to protect yourself from wildlife. Insects are certainly a frustration, but larger creatures such as snakes have been known to seek the warmth of a sleeping bag and curl up around the owner's genitals. Regardless of the type of shelter you opt for, you should always follow a few general principles. Firstly, avoid damp ground when building a shelter for the obvious reason that you will also get wetter and colder. Be aware of the direction of the wind, and make sure you don't build your shelter downwind from your campfire. It's a huge fire risk, especially in dry areas where you use dried leaves and branches to make your shelters. Avoid high and low ground due to the wind and cold associated with both. Ensure there are natural resources around that will help you build it and that there aren't any slopes or rocks in the ground. This way, you can limit your efforts when preparing the area for construction. A quality shelter is 90% insulation. Most novice survivors think that the most crucial function of a shelter is to block the wind. Although this is important, they fail to realize that we lose more heat into the ground than we do into the air. For this reason, never plan to sleep on the floor. Find a way to raise yourself to avoid extreme cold. It will also reduce the number of small animals and insects you'll encounter. At the very least, try to create layers between yourself and the ground, even if this involves piles of leaves or similar vegetation. Related to the issue of insulation is that of the size of the shelter. In all of these cases, you will see that the shelters are designed to be not much bigger than body size. In this way, you reduce the loss of body heat and keep ourselves warmer and better protected from wind and rain. Another factor related to size is the time and energy we dedicate to collecting the raw materials. There is no point in investing time in finding and preparing branches or insulation for something much bigger than what you need.